The reveal trailer for F1 25 has just dropped, and it comes with lots of juicy details about this year's game. May 30th release, an overhaul to My Team. We can drive as either driver in your new My Team save. We have a new owner perk system. Breaking Point 3 comes back. We now have F3 driver choices, icons in the Iconic Edition. We can now drive in the reverse direction in specific tracks. Potential multiplayer changes. The ability to drive the Apex GP car, the F1 car that's part of the new F1 movie. Old gen consoles have been dropped, which is a great sign for the overall game as a whole. And also, the game is somewhat cheaper this year. So a lot of positive changes and more, which I want to dive into. So let's get into it. EA invites players to create headlines as a new chapter of Formula 1 begins with EA Sports F1 25, an official game of the 2025 Formula 1 World Championship coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. No more PlayStation 4, no more Xbox One. Finito. This is a massive sign. This is a great sign for the future of the F1 game franchise. In my personal opinion, I felt like the old-gen consoles have been holding back or stifling development. Now that we've dropped those consoles, it was a much-needed change. We can now, give the dev team a little bit more resource budget to improve the graphics, make the AI a little bit smarter, just have more complicated, maybe even physics and calculations that go into the nitty-gritty details behind the scenes. So I'm sorry if this affects you, that you don't have a new-gen console. But hopefully in the future, sometime soon, you can get one. But for the rest of us, it means we do have a much better F1 game to play. Okay, take the spotlight in the latest installment of the fan favorite story mode, Breaking Point, with Connor Sport now battling for championships. Much needed, because for the last two iterations of story mode, we've been starting from the bottom. Then in the second one, we came up to a midfield, or we thought we were, and then we started a new team. So we're kind of at the back again. So this is going to be what I think will be the final chapter, the tie-in of Devin Butler's story, of Callie Mayer, of Aiden Jackson, and we're going to see them fighting for a championship. And I believe this will be the last story mode we see for a while, probably. Anyway, battling for championships as a dramatic event throws the team into chaos. Breaking Point now comes with multiple difficulty settings, much needed because story mode has been way too easy in the past. Hopefully this now means more sweaty players can actually enjoy a challenge. The on-track excitement ramps up with the upcoming event, Film of the Summer, Apple Films' original F1, launching worldwide in cinemas this June. So the game comes out just before the movie. The movie comes out after. It's going to be hype. I hope the championship battle is going to be sick with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, maybe Max Verstappen thrown into the mix as well. Hopefully it's a good year. It is a good year to be a Formula 1 fan. I'm excited. So we can drive that car that we see in the movie in the game. That is pretty sick. If you order the Iconic Edition, you can get access to 2025 season liveries for use in F1 24. So I don't know if this is from now, immediately, but sometime soon we'll be able to play F1 25 liveried cars in the 24 game, which is cool. But, it's only time trial, so it's not that exciting. Now we're getting into the juicy part of the video. My Team. My Team receives its first significant overhaul, with players calling the shots as the owner of their F1 team. Take on new responsibilities before getting behind the wheel as either of the team's drivers. We can race as one driver one weekend and another driver on another weekend. I think this now means you can't race as yourself. You now hire real drivers. This is my interpretation, and then you race as either of them. I guess we'll find out more when we hear about the deep dives coming in April. That is a new feature, something never been done before. So I'm excited to see how that integration is going to work. That's very spicy. On track, F1 25 continues to operate through the power of its Ego engine. This is the engine that we've been running with ever since, I want to say the best part of, since 2015. Last year, they tried to trick us into thinking we were getting a new handling model through the EA Sports adaptive handling model thing. It was Ego. It was just, I'm glad that they've just binned that off, and they're not sugarcoating it. It's Ego. It's staying Ego for the time being. They've got confidence in their engine, and they think that there's still more power there's more room in the ceiling to extract out of the package that they have, I suppose. And binning off the old-gen consoles is a huge part of that. Through the Ego engine, we're enabling increased circuit authenticity made possible through LiDAR technology. Several tracks and their surroundings are transformed with a more realistic look and feel. Now, I've gone ahead and I've skimmed through all of the trailer, and I have deduced that Australia is new. You'll see the screenshot above. You can see how they compare with the LiDAR versus the in-game track. That's been overhauled, and it looks really nice on the helicopter shot from above. That is really nice. I believe Imola has had some updates. There's some curbing changes. I think it's more than just curbs, because when they do updates to a track on the F1 game, they do the whole track. They don't just do a little tiny part, usually. They go all in. So Imola's had some big changes. I believe Miami looks a bit different. There was a lot of Miami footage on the trailer. I think Mexico looked a little bit different. There was one particular corner in the middle sector where you've got the cars coming towards you. I really hope that Mexico's got an update, because the chicane through the middle sector is very outdated and just inaccurate, really. The profiling of all those corners is way different to the game compared to real life, so fingers crossed, but that's not confirmed. More details on gameplay features and innovations will be revealed shortly through the F1 25 deep dives. I think I read somewhere that there's going to be 2 of them, so keep an eye out for those. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I will be covering those like I'm covering the news today. F1 25 delivers more ways for players to experience Formula 1 and race their way from the drama of breaking point to making headlines in the pursuit of World Championship glory, said Lee Mather, Senior Creative Director at Codemasters. This year, there are new opportunities for players to connect, collaborate, and compete than ever before. We look forward to sharing more details in the coming weeks. This is why I believe that there are changes to multiplayer. New opportunities for players to connect, collaborate, and compete than ever before. So I'm thinking either new game modes or new features that help support the online community. I'm really praying we get an update to the replay cameras for league races, for commentators, broadcasters, for F1 esports. Hell, that's going on right now, and much needed to iron out some of the bugs that have been in that part of the game. As Formula 1 celebrates its 75th anniversary, players can compete alongside and against the biggest driver lineup changes in several years, including Lewis Hamilton's unprecedented move from Mercedes to Ferrari. The 2025 season promises to deliver the most unpredictable and dramatic season, with new stars trying to make a name for themselves, established drivers challenging for podiums, or veterans hoping for a world championship on a new team. As we saw reflected in the standard edition cover of the game with Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz, and Oliver Behrman, a different approach. And I actually think it's a really good cover, as is the iconic edition with Lewis Hamilton. That's very good. F1 25 allows players to recreate every breathtaking moment through various single-player and new collaborative options, potentially hinting at like a scenario mode coming back. But this could easily just be, you know, a race scenario in F1 world. Like, doesn't sound like anything too crazy, but you know, these little challenges are always kind of fun to do anyway. And then down here, we've just got things about benefits of pre-ordering the game. USA players get a free 1-month subscription to F1 TV Pro, which is pretty cool. Available May 30th, 3 days early if you get the iconic edition. And that is pretty much it for that. So here's the Steam page for F1 25. I want to point out that the game is £10 cheaper than what it was for F1 24, which is a massive thing because inflation, and 2, they were very greedy last year with the pricing of the game. So it's good to see that they've actually made it cheaper. And we're theoretically getting a pretty feature-packed game this year with story modes, My Team Career, and, you know, the reverse direction changes. This, as a prospect, looks a lot more appealing than what it did last year. This, again, just reiterates the fact that we can drive as either 2 of our F1 drivers on a race weekend for my team, which is nice. Breaking point 3, the legacy of Connor Sport is at stake as a dramatic event throws the team into chaos. I'm thinking like financial ruin or turmoil, and they've got to find a new headline sponsor or sign some deals. I think there's going to be some politics regarding that as well, is my guess. I hope that the story is a bit more dynamic, and I'll touch upon that as well with the, at the end of the trailer, they say the story is yours. So I'm hoping it's a bit more flexible and a bit more unique in the sense that you can affect the way the timeline goes or the narratives go based on how you do, whether you pass objectives or fail. The F1 story modes in the past have been very linear and predictable. I'm hoping there's a twist or two and we can end up having different kind of storylines based on the choices we make. That would be insane. This is potentially the last year of story mode, so I want them to go out with a bang. And then here we have some lovely screenshots. This is the two Connosport cars going side by side. Aiden Jackson, Callie Mayer. Lovely stuff. There's Callie again here. In-game character. Some press in the background. A pit stop at Connosport. We got some wet weather driving in Spa. I don't think Spa has changed. It only changed recently. Here again is the LiDAR shot, which I spoke about earlier. It's a massive effort to LiDAR scan a track, let alone a street track, when it's only like this temporarily for like a week of the year. And here is a nice little update to my team. This is the Vista, your F1 factory. They've got this F1 car suspended on strings, hanging from the sky. Some nice wood paneling in the background and on the roof. I've been to a few F1 factories. This is like a blend of Williams and Aston Martin. If you ever go to Aston Martin, they've got wood paneling everywhere. Maybe more so Aston Martin, actually. But then Williams, like, one of their buildings has these staircases like that. It's a blend of the two, which I think is quite cool. They've definitely taken inspiration from other teams. And Mercedes have some cars and some parts suspended by strings on their ceiling as well. Never stop lifting. That is a lovely little shot there, and that is the screenshots. Now, one final thing I wanted to show you was this blog post by EA. The site is down. The site has actually crashed. Hence the popularity of the game at the moment, which is quite a good thing because it's much needed when we've seen this as the trajectory of the F1 games over the last few years. We've had this downward staircase. We need to start going back up again. The only way is up from here, you would have to say. Please, EA, please, Codemasters, I hope you've cooked with F1 25. At least initially, they've taken all the right steps to address some of the dramas, but we have to hold full reservations until we actually play the game ourselves. So that is it, guys, for the news regarding F1 25. If there's anything juicy that comes out of the details from the blog post, which I can't access right now, then I'll make a follow-up video. But until then, that is pretty much everything. What I'm most excited about is my team dropping of the old gen consoles. I think is going to lift the lid on some of the limitations we've had in the past. Hopefully less bugs. I'm excited for racing in the reverse direction, which they teased in the trailer. They didn't mention anything in the press release, but looks like so far we can drive in the reverse direction of 3 tracks, that being Silverstone, Austria, and Zandvoort. I don't know, and I doubt whether they'll make reverse direction a thing for every single track on the calendar. That's a lot of work. If you think about it, they have to do everything almost from scratch. They have to redo the pit lane. They have to retrain the AI. They have to train like track limits. They have to figure that out. They have to reverse all the marshalling posts to go in the right direction. There's a lot that comes with making a track work properly from one direction to the next. It's not a case of just copy paste. They've got to redo the starting grid as well for where you start from. You're starting at the end of a straight now as opposed to the start of the straight. So road markings and many things like that. So the fact that they've done that for at least 3 tracks is a good start. I would like to see a little bit more than that. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe half the tracks. Or maybe they'll keep updating through the game's life cycle. I'm not too sure. But that's already a really positive step. It's a thing that I've been calling for for over 10 years at this point, but it's great to see that it gets full support now. And you bet we're going to be doing online lobbies with the reverse direction in creator series as well. It's going to be really spicy, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of F1 25. Is this enough for you to warrant getting the game this year? Cheaper price, stacked in terms of features and game modes, hopefully updated graphics and better physics, better handling. They now have a full year of development for this game. Remember, 24 came out quite early. They brought the release forward really early to the end of May. This year is still the end of May, so they've had a little extra time to polish this game. So that's the key word, I think. F1 25 should have more polish. And for that reason, should be a better game. Should be. We'll see whether it lives up to the hype. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to see all the F1 25 news, info, gameplay coming soon. I hope this is going to be a better year.